A treasured tradition that draws hundreds of thousands of people to Albuquerque every year to witness the spectacle of 500 hot air balloons in our beautiful skies, painting the Albuquerque skies. And no matter how many times you've experienced it, Fiesta is a bright spot for our city and state that we all look forward to every year. Few events are as synonymous with a destination as Balloon Fiesta is with Albuquerque. And we're fortunate to be the hot air balloon capital of the world, not just during these 9 days, but throughout the year. And the pilots that fly those balloons are really, collectively, they're the stars of the show. So lots of appreciation to the pilots. The Balloon Fiesta is an uplifting event with that joy and happiness that it brings to all of us, but it's also uplifting to the economic well-being of Albuquerque and the entire state. According to an economic impact study that was commissioned by the Balloon Fiesta and was done by a third party, the 2022 event generated $120 million of direct spending at local businesses, and it generated more than $200 million of total economic impact. And the Fiesta's economic impact is felt by every sector of the travel and tourism hospitality industry. It's from lodging properties, transportation companies, restaurants, to small boutiques and businesses, to those individual artists that are going to see an economic boon from the Balloon Fiesta. And it ensures that Fiesta, it's a big contributor to why the tourism industry is one of the city and state's largest private job creators. In addition to Balloon Fiesta, there are so many events that take place in our community during this time. It's an opportunity for us to showcase our culture and our heritage and our outdoor recreation, our delicious cuisine. And so many travelers, whether they're domestic or international, will use Albuquerque as a hub and spoke. So they move throughout the state, taking in all of the state's rich culture and heritage. A couple of quick notes I just wanted to mention. Visit Albuquerque has created a city guide. I have some available. We've created a city guide specifically for Balloon Fiesta, sharing everything that is happening around the city. There's also discounts and coupons here, and they'll be available on the Balloon Fiesta field at our visitor center, and they're also available at our visitor centers in Old Town and at the Sunport. I also wanted to mention, I was just on the phone with a couple of local hoteliers. I understand there still is availability. There is sometimes misconception that there's not availability. There's still availability at hotels and short-term rentals. So anyone who would like to still take in this world-class event has the capability to do so. But today we're here to celebrate the improvements that will benefit our guests this year. We're going to hear from the former New Mexico Supreme Court Chief Justice, Judy Nakamura. Judy is also a hot air balloon pilot, and she is the current Balloon Fiesta board president for the Volunteer Board of Directors. She will then introduce our Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. We will also hear from our mayor, Albuquerque's Mayor Tim Keller, and then to round it out, we'll get some insight on I-25 traffic from Cabinet Secretary of Transportation for the state, Serna. So it's my honor to now turn the podium over to our Balloon Fiesta Board President, Judy Nakamura, and I just personally want to say how much I have appreciated. She has such a passion for this event. She has dedicated so many years to this event, and her work, I've been able to personally view how it has moved the Fiesta forward. So, Judy, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for those incredibly kind words as well, and to visit Albuquerque for what they do to help promote this event. Nice job, Governor.
No trash.
No trash. So good morning.
Good morning.
We are 44 hours from the first mass ascension, and I want you to know that Balloon Fiesta is ready. And we look forward to welcoming the hundreds of thousands of guests, our balloon pilots who are all descending upon Albuquerque as we speak to enjoy the world's largest hot air balloon event. So today, Governor Lujan Grisham, Mayor Keller, Secretary Serna, we wanted to come here today to explain to you how getting to Balloon Fiesta Field to experience the hot air balloons up close and personal will be easier this year than it has ever been. So let's start. Let's jump right into it. Look where we're standing. This is the new permanently acquired parking lot that'll service Fiesta as well as other events at Balloon Fiesta. It's like, you know, the former Honeywell plant parking area, and this area that you're observing is going to hold at least 1,650 parking spaces for Balloon Fiesta guests. And this lot as well as so many other things Balloon Fiesta has been able to achieve, would not have been possible without the steadfast support of Governor Lujan Grisham. This year, she dedicated about $15 million towards this acquisition, as well as other needed improvements for the Balloon Fiesta. So with this parking lot, this is really important for our guests to understand, with this parking lot, the chance of our parking lot selling out on weekends is greatly diminished. So thank you, Governor. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, and what a difference this parking lot is going to make for our visitors. And you know, Mayor Keller, you know, these purchases by government, they're just not easy. And we hit obstacle after obstacle after obstacle trying to close this deal. And quite frankly, it was Mayor Keller that every step of the way said we need to get this done, and worked alongside our Balloon Fiesta staff. So your perseverance and your in securing this acquisition, Mayor, I just want to say thank you for. I also want to say thank you for our year-round partnership in helping this event succeed. You bet. So the bigger picture is that with this parking, we now have about 10,000 parking spaces here at the park. But what's also important, even though we don't believe we're likely to run out, we keep seeing the attendance at Balloon Fiesta increase. So I just want to very quickly ask you and ask the media help in getting out to the public. There are so many other ways to get to Balloon Fiesta Park. We have Park and Ride, and I checked on the way over here, and every session of Park and Ride, I think there's 2 mornings at one location. Every other session is available, and there are seats still available on those buses. And the really neat thing about the buses is it takes you right to the field, and you get off right next to the field. So those Park and Ride buses can accommodate more than 20,000 guests getting to our park. So we ask the public to go to our website, look up the Park and Ride, and get your tickets for Park and Ride. There's 4 locations in the city, 3 weekdays, 4 weekends. So take a look at that, hop on a bus, and get to Balloon Fiesta Field. There's also the bike valet. Let's not forget the bike valet. You hop on the bike trail going north. You get off at the Balloon Fiesta entrance. The bike valet is free. It is a partnership we have once again with the city and the Balloon Museum. It holds 8,000 bikes, so ride your bikes here, save the gas, save the aggravation that comes along with traffic. And finally, we have the ride share. We have a special partnership this year with Lyft. We have a partnership with Uber. Dedicated pickup and drop-off sites exclusively for Balloon Fiesta. And the drivers even have a route that's going to pop up on their screen to get them to an area to drop off on the southeast side of Balloon Fiesta Park. And once you're here, one of the most common problems are people who left their car somewhere or came in a particular gate and they can't find that gate again. So you just note the number on the gate. We have QR codes all along Concession Row. Take a picture of that QR code and it'll help you get back to your parking lot, your Lyft drop-off or Uber drop-off, or your bike valet. So we encourage finally all of our guests to download the Fiesta app. It'll keep you updated on the event schedule, help you with the field, tell you about when the special shades will be here. I just want to close with this. Balloon Fiesta, we all forget, we are a nonprofit entity. We are powered by staff and board. This year we have about 1,200 volunteers who've been helping us, who are responsible for the success. So I want to thank them, but I also want to thank our other partners, the mayor, the governor, partners we have throughout the state. And thank you to the New Mexicans who are welcoming the pilots to land on their property. Thank you to the New Mexicans who are opening their homes for our guests who are coming from around the world. And to thank them, we are opening Monday's admission free to all New Mexicans to come and enjoy Balloon Fiesta. So thank you for being here, media. Thank you for helping us get the message out. And I am so honored to introduce my friend, and one of the most ardent supporters of Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome. Is it still morning? I never know what time it is. Usually I don't know what day it is either. I think it's Thursday. I want to do just a couple of things. First of all, I'm a big fan of the Balloon Fiesta and the board and the leadership of Justice Nakamura. And I think that goes without saying for everyone participating and just giving an update about where we are and celebrating $20 million. And these investments are frankly critical. The popularity, as it deserves, outpaces both the city and the state's ability to do right by not only the leadership for the Balloon Fiesta, but by the pilots, their safety, and crews and visitors. So what you're going to see in this fiesta is more attention to parking, paved areas, bathrooms, more security, using cameras and related efforts of that nature so that people can just pay attention to having fun and easier to navigate aspects as Justice Nakamura talked to you about. One of the areas for me is this is not a temporary situation. We are lucky enough and we have worked hard enough that the international recognition for the International Balloon Fiesta is remarkable. And we do expect that it's going to keep growing, which is why the city invested in the park areas and the museum and so much of the infrastructure. Now we need it to look like the permanent, state-of-the-art environment that the event really recognizes or is recognized for. That means permanent rest areas and bathrooms, more permanent places for concessions, more areas for people to enjoy year-round, all that this area of the city has to offer. And last but not least, if you're a governor, and you have the opportunity to ask the legislature, and they usually don't argue with me, it's just the total number we argue over. I get to decide what I ask for. If you want sizable investments, be in a hot air balloon with Judy Nakamura when she says we have no place to land. This will incentivize you more than anything else to find the resources immediately and to ask the city to find the places for us to land. It is it's a mixed blessing with the kind of economic development and people moving to Albuquerque and the state and more room and more affordable housing. It really does limit safe landing sites. These landing sites are not only critical to the future success of the Balloon Fiesta, but they're also important for the quality of life for folks who live in Bernalillo County and the city. I applaud the mayor for being clear that we need to identify, purchase, and dedicate those areas, and to the state legislature for meeting me and making sure that we get these appropriations. And I have no doubt that with the success of this fiesta, and I get to ride, no pressure, Judy, again on Saturday, that you should expect that the mayor and I will continue to identify resources to keep investing in one of the most, if not the most, iconic, family-friendly, international / New Mexico events, the most photographed event in the world, because it is the most beautiful event in one of the most beautiful states and beautiful cities anywhere in the world. This ought to be where our investments are headed. And so I'm dedicated to making sure that that occurs. And I'm really gratified to see so much progress because the big bulk of the $20 million that have been invested, that 15, is just sort of making its way. Couldn't get done before this event, but I can see the work and progress already where we're all leaning in to make this one the best ever, and the next one the best ever. And I'm really proud to participate and support the board, the city, for all of their efforts. And I don't know if I'm supposed to introduce the mayor or go back to.
You can introduce.
You know what? You still looked almost. You don't. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the facial hair situation. That's new, huh? There's no time to shave, is what he's. Really? All right. So everybody get a picture of him today because that's going to be different tomorrow. But the mayor, as Justice Nakamura indicated, has been a steadfast partner. It's not like we're fighting about where to put resources that create quality of life and enhance the successful events that we're all dedicated to. We need to get all of our resources lined up. That's sometimes harder than it should be, but we recognize that. You'll hear from the Secretary of Transportation, who still has a lot of work to do, Ricky. Yep, but we're going to get it done. And without further ado, my partner in these efforts, Mayor Tim Keller. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Governor. You got it. I appreciate it. You got it.
Well, good morning, Albuquerque and, of course, New Mexico. And we have just, I think, a couple of things to share on this beautiful morning. I know it's a little hotter than we'd all like, but other than that, it is classic New Mexico. And so, firstly, I think I want to just reflect on, look, the Balloon Fiesta, we all have memories. And as I look out, I know we have media here, but we also have people who born and raised here, lived here forever, or brand new. And, I always remember as a little kid on my bicycle chasing those balloons and, helping them land. And then they'd give me a little lapel pin. And that started my long addiction to lapel pins. And so, but now, of course, just as a moment to be mayor for Balloon Fiesta it's always the best week to be mayor of Albuquerque during Balloon Fiesta. I think every mayor would agree with that. And I had the good fortune last year of also flying with our justice. And what was amazing is that what she showed me and I had never seen, which you can look up on the internet and there's pictures of it and stuff, but there's so many magical moments of Fiesta. But one is when you're in the air and the flyover is below you. And there's what do you call when everyone does the flames at, there's slang for it. Yes, flicker, the flicker burn, right before the sun comes up and everyone starts inflating. Awesome, absolutely awesome. And I share that story with you because there are moments throughout every Balloon Fiesta day that are just like that. They inspire us. They remind us of the awe of each other and nature and everything combined with that. And so I think in many ways, too, these are tough times in our city. We know that. But we also know we have to celebrate the good things that we have and share what's good and enjoy the moments that we have with our family and friends and those moments of awe that we're fortunate enough to have in our city many, many times over, but especially during Balloon Fiesta. So for us, trying to work with the IABF every year to do the best that we can together, it takes leadership, and that leadership always starts at our governor's office. And I'm especially grateful to say that, we're celebrating this lot right here, but I want to take us back to when she first became our governor. And I was like, Governor, we got to talk about big things at the Balloon Fiesta. And, everyone asks her for help, and she has to decide on help the whole state. But she understands how important this is for all of New Mexico. And also, it started with the slip ramp, which, believe it or not, never take that for granted when you're sitting in traffic, because that thing is awesome. That was governor and legislature funded. Governor was the lead on that. She was like, we got to make this happen. And classic with Department of Transportation, we got that done just in the nick of time for Fiesta. And then we had the other lot over there when we added 300 parking spaces. That was part of our landing and parking efforts that we added. Then the Murphy's Mule Barn, where they, for some reason, were still allowing smoking in that restaurant, by the way, till we bought it, I think. But that place is now a landing spot. All of this is because of the governor's leadership, of course, in a collaborative way with the legislature. But every year she says yes to supporting the Balloon Fiesta. And that includes this massive investment and many more to come. So, Governor, thank you for being Balloon Fiesta's champion. Thank you. And also, we've been so fortunate to have 2 years of Justice Nakamura's leadership at the Fiesta. And for us, that has been extra special because she also agrees we've got to work on the big things. And so she has been able to work with governor's office and ours and put in those requests that say, hey, we need this parking and we need it this year. And so she did her part with the governor, and then just want to credit especially the lawyers. We never thank them, so I'm going to now. And Jennifer, she's right over there. she got this thing done so we could use it like this week. And so credit to your team. Thank you all so much. It was not an easy purchase, as the Justice said. But we're fortunate for Judy's leadership. She's been a tremendous asset to move us forward in big chunks, right? And so this parking lot being one of them. But I'll close with this. I think what the governor and the Justice share with myself and everyone here is we have a vision for the Balloon Fiesta. And it's a different vision. It's not just putting it on every year. It's not doing it kind of New Mexico style with the little plastic flags everywhere and the orange barrels and the portable lights and the portable bathrooms and the portable generators, right? The vision is actually something more like, you name the event, Indianapolis 500, the Kentucky Derby, things like that have a permanent facility that is used year round, right? But is also a pride point that people come to even when it's not there. They still want to go check out the grounds. That is our vision, and that's what we're working towards. And we know it's going to take many, many years. But the stage is set because of the leadership of these two women. So thank you, Justice, also. Thank you. So I'm going to wrap up by just sharing with you some of the smaller stuff, but also, funded by our governor in partnership with the Fiesta. And of course, there's some legislative, even specific appropriations sprinkled in there. So here's what we get. We get for this year, obviously in total over the last few years, 1,000, and it's actually 2,000 new parking spots if you add up in the last 3 years. And then we get the slip ramp that helps with traffic. And we also get 19 new security cameras, more eyes on the field. We also have double the bathroom capacity and half the generators because we actually have some electricity funding our vendors row. And again, that whole project's actually only half done, so the rest of it should be done next year. And so we're going to walk through more details, but I'll leave it with this. We do want to make sure that everyone is safe also. And that's always first and foremost what our chief, who's here and is available for questions, and APD, and I know BCSO is part of that, and the state police. This is a whole one Albuquerque, one New Mexico, one Bernalillo County effort to make that happen. And we have a wonderful public safety plan this year as always, but we also have the direct text messaging, so you will get texted specifically about issues that may or may not be happening on the Balloon Fiesta. And so we started that last year. We're going to continue it this year. I think lastly, I want to acknowledge one other woman. I think it is awesome that the Fiesta hired Judy Morgesbaca, our former county manager. Who better fit to run the Balloon Fiesta? She knows the drill, she knows the people, and we are all, as New Mexicans, in good hands with her leadership going forward. So with that, thank you so much and enjoy Fiesta.
Well, thank you both to the governor and to the mayor for not only their support and their leadership for Balloon Fiesta, but I do want to take a moment on behalf of the tourism industry and thank both of you for your leadership and the money that's been invested in the tourism industry throughout the last number of years. So thank you very much. This is a big week for our community and for our state, and it would not be possible without their leadership. Now have the opportunity to introduce the Cabinet Secretary for the New Mexico State Department of Transportation. He's here to talk about traffic during Balloon Fiesta and has been integral in thinking about the modifications that will happen to ensure that we have a successful Balloon Fiesta. So, Secretary.
He basically said, don't screw this up.
Come on, Secretary Serna.
Be nice, be nice.
You got this, Secretary Serna. Let's go.
Go, Ricky!
That's
Go,
right.
Ricky! 10 lanes!
I'll keep it tight. I am here today. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. It's a pleasure to represent a department that many of you may have cursed once or twice as you drive north and south on I-25 in the last month. But nonetheless, we're excited about a project that we think is going to bring so much more capacity to the city of Albuquerque. I want to thank a few people one person in particular that hasn't been mentioned yet, Jim Garcia, who's with the board of directors here at the Balloon Fiesta Council, but also serves as the president of Associated Contractors of New Mexico, a good partner of ours, who had the foresight. Yeah, round of applause for Jim. Together had the foresight to bring us all together in partnership with the mayor, the board of directors, to really talk about how we were going to work collaboratively to ensure that, given the construction project that we have going on I-25, wasn't going to be a deterrent to those thousands of people who are going to be visiting Balloon Fiesta Park. I too want to thank Justice / President Nakamura. I think as she was getting her feet wet in this role, I was getting mine in my role, and we spent hours on the phone anticipating a surge in visitors to the Balloon Fiesta last year, given the eclipse and the view that the Balloon Fiesta Park was going to provide. And so I think we're meeting for the first time in person now, and we had a scramble, but it was a pleasure to work with her. I want to, of course, thank the mayor, not just on this project, but going back to the ribbon cutting of the slip ramp and his dedication to keeping Albuquerque clean, and us working collaboratively to ensure that the roads are safe. And it's been a real joy to work with him and his team. He understands what it takes to really impress visitors to New Mexico with a beautiful first impression of our largest city in the state, and we're supportive of everything that he's come up with, from challenging his own staff to pick up trash, to challenging us to do an even better job doing it alongside with him. And so I thank him for taking the governor's vision to really beautify New Mexico and leading by example. And then, of course, our governor, who reminds me not only not to screw things up when I talk, but is supportive of everything that we do at the Department of Transportation from the resources that we have. But as you all know, many Balloon Fiesta crew members are going to be staying south of the park and will be using I-25 to access the facilities. Access to the park and around Albuquerque will be key for all of you as you guys are visiting. So I'm pleased to share that we've worked with our contractors on Montgomery Comanche project, and all 3 travel lanes in both directions on I-25 will be open the entire time of the Balloon Fiesta. And so, yeah, excited about that. Our contractors may be on site throughout, they may be doing some work, but none of that will result in any lane reductions or lane closures. And so we're pleased to be able to have worked that into the project ahead of time, anticipating events like this and others like the State Fair. As you all are aware, the lanes on north and southbound on I-25 on the project have been shifted towards the median, and so we want to encourage drivers to be especially cautious, because the distance between cars and those barrier walls is shrinking over the course of the project. And I'll remind everyone, of course, that in the first month that we had this project going, we had over 20 crashes. Nothing too significant, but all of them related to the need to reduce speed and be mindful that other drivers in front of you are slowing down. I do want to share that Comanche Road, however, east and west at the interchange will be reduced to 1 lane in both directions. So Comanche will be a 2-lane road, 1 in each direction. And so we just ask you all to please provide yourself with extra time, understanding that as you get further north, that you're going to ultimately be reduced to a slower speed anyway as you make your way into the gates. And we're really excited to be a partner here and thank New Mexicans for your support and patience as we get our largest single project underway here in the city of Albuquerque. So thank you, Mayor. Congratulations on preparing for another great Balloon Fiesta. I wish you guys the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Just wrapping things up. So we have park and ride, we have buses, we have bike valet, we have bikes, we have additional parking here at Balloon Fiesta. And we have the option for open lanes on I-25. So that's good news. Everything working towards additional opportunity for people to come in smoothly into the field. Want to take an opportunity, of course, as we start things. Keep in mind, this is a world-class event, internationally recognized. Lots of people making their way in, so we should anticipate some congestion. So a reminder that Tramway and Roy Road is the best access point for Balloon Fiesta in terms of that I-25 access. Want to take a moment to just recognize there are a number of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta Board of Directors with us today. Just wanted to ask them to raise their hand and be recognized for all the work they do throughout the year. And with that, I think everyone behind me is available for one-on-one interviews. Thank you very much.
Since we have everybody here, we also have Chief Medina here who's available to speak a little bit on public safety in regards to Balloon Fiesta. So with that, I'll invite up.
involved. We actually pull our cadets out of training to help with traffic directing and to make sure that we have enough resources. We view this as two big pieces to the puzzle. Everything that we do at Balloon Fiesta Park and everything we do in the city at the hotels and motels to keep all the people visiting the city safe from any types of crimes that may be occurring. When you look at the facility itself, we have officers on the field. Please contact them if you have any questions or concerns on the field. And the vast majority of our resources are dedicated towards traffic control and getting the crowds in and out during the course of the day. It is a very long week, like I said, and historically we have had officers hit by cars and injured during the course of the week. So please be aware of our officers out there. Please make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and be careful as you proceed, especially in the dark hours of the morning and late at night. In the city, we'll continue to have additional resources out. I want to thank the Office of the Superintendent of Insurance, Roberta, somewhere here. They've helped us with the GPS over the last several years to ensure that anybody who'd like to have GPS on their balloon trailer are capable of having it, and that we're able to provide that service. So the Albuquerque Police Department will be out along with New Mexico State Police and BCSO during the course of the weekend. We just want to thank them for our partnership. Governor, thank you for the New Mexico State Police. They've always been our strongest partner, and they're always there for us, and that commitment goes, I know, starts at the top. So thank you guys for all the work that you provide and help that you provide us. So with that, I think Roberta had something about GPSs, if she's somewhere here. Roberta, you have anything? Nope. GPSs are available, and thank you for your partnership. All right, they'll be handed out today, so just thank you guys. We good? All right, thanks.
If any of you are sticking around for the parks tour, we will have some staff over here from the city to do the parks tour. Thank you.